I thought what I'd do today is actually summarise a lot of the good stuff that you've heard and add a couple of little things that you might find useful to kind of nail some of those things home. There's been an absolute, just an amazing sort of stuff. I've got a lot of conferences, a lot of things and seminars. And, you come to something like this in the community and it's quite amazing that you get something of this quality, for $6. It really, really is. So my congratulations to all the other speakers and Health Community. And I hope that I can add something here. So when people are trying to make a change from their life, okay, there's generally three ways that happens. One way, which is the way that 80 or 90% of people try to do things, is that they try to change things by not changing anything. Let that one sink in. This is not some ancient wisdom or philosophy. Okay, so you do the same thing again and again and again and again. And the aim of the game is that somehow magically, just because you wish it, something will happen. So whatever it is in your life. Okay, and that doesn't happen. That's that first curve over there. Now, the next way that people attempt to do that, okay, the green curve, is that they make a decision, that's it, I'm going for it, and they go and 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 go until they reach the top and then they have to fizzle out and burn. Because it's not a sustainable energy. So they can be successful for a short time. So this is, for example, I'm going on that holiday, I've got to look great, I'm going to go on the grapefruit and water diet or whatever it is, or whatever the diet, the latest thing on the no idea is, and I cover the no idea, right? So they go and go and go, and you apply and apply and apply. Or I'm just going to do so much exercise just for 28 days. And of course, that doesn't work because you get an A result, but then you have to crash and burn. And then you basically are back where you started, right? So what's the third way? The third way is that other curve there. Now, have a look. It ends up at the top. But if you notice, it has a slight increase at the beginning, and then has this thing called the dip. This is how it always works. People don't just have this linear curve to success. You have this logical thinking that somehow you're going to actually, get from the next step to the next step to the next step, and it's all going to work out. It doesn't work like that. If you don't come to this, you're not actually making any real changes at all. That's the first thing you're going to understand. So you have to negotiate that part of the curve in order to be successful in a way that's sustainable, and that the change that you make is effective and long-lasting in your life. Does that make sense so far? Now here's the scary part. Only 15% of people survive the dip in anything, in any industry. So this is no different. If you're trying to change something with your life, now that's pretty scary because it seems like 15% of people. So you're saying that 85% of people are really that, well, unfortunately, yeah. Look at our society. Okay, look at the health. 80% of hospital beds shouldn't be occupied. Right? It's scary but true. It's scary but true. So if you want to be one of the 15%, what's the secret? We're going to ask ourselves why. Why does this happen? Well, there are a few things. Fear is one of them. And we've spoken about fear on other occasions. Alright? Could be fear of anything. Doesn't necessarily make sense. It doesn't have to be something that's in a psychology textbook. Okay? Believe me, I've heard every fear under the book. In fact, I look up in the dictionary, look every word that exists and go fear of, and make that word the third word. Okay? It could be fear of anything. Okay? And security. Our comfort zone. What gets you out of the comfort zone? Now just imagine, let's just have a little visualization here. You started your journey, you're going to make a change. Whether it's your diet, your exercise, something else. You're going to make a change, right? And you're on your path, and you're walking along your path, and you're excited. You don't know if you're going to be on curve 1, 2, or 3 yet. Okay? And you come across this. Okay? And you go further down the track if you have the courage to move beyond that, because that's menacing, but it hasn't attacked you yet, has it? So some things are kind of looming. They're menacing. They're just sitting there, and you're afraid to move because if you move, it might attack. Come across that. Now, that's not something that's looming. That's something that's attacking. So there's things on your path that are going to be things that are just there, that you're scared that if you kind of went there, it would become that, and things that you perceive that are that. Now, here's the thing that's really, really unfair. Because it seems like some people, when they start that journey, this is the menacing thing they come across. And so it is. Okay, and the thing about that is, it gets even more unfair. Because when that tries to attack, it's even cuter. It's even cuter. Right? So it doesn't seem fair, does it? And how many people do you know? Because I'm sure it's not any of us here, but how many people do you know who say things like, it's not fair. Like every time I start something, there's all these wild big cats that are going to attack me with claws and, teeth like this. And other people go, it's like, it's just a cat. And if only there were no lions on my path, I'd move ahead. I mean, look, you can't expect me to risk agitating a lion, right? I mean, I've got no whip, no chair, no cage, nothing. You can't expect me when something like that wild black cat doesn't even look real, right, is there on my path that you want me to actually move ahead. It's not logical, is it? If I had a path where this was the menace and this was the attack, would that be easier? I could easily do that. So, here's the big secret of success. And this summarizes the day. Make big things small. Now, the reason I say that to you is because of the way that the neuroscience of the brain works. And this is really interesting. There are different parts of the brain that do different things, right? If you activate, you think about it, there's a part in your brain, I won't go into all the neuroanatomy, but there's a part in your brain that deals with threat and flight and fright and danger. And to save you, if you're afraid, you just need to get out of there, right? So your brain's not trying to think creative solutions, what we do, how could we do this, how could it be nice if we do that. You're just running, and everything that's not required is switched off, okay? You develop superhuman strength, you're like one of those, I don't know, what's that movie with all the X-Men and whatever, you got some special power suddenly, and you're out of there, right? Here's the problem. If this is the way you approach the problems in your life, then you're under threat and you're just reacting. These things that we're talking about, the solutions that we're talking about, require creative thought. They require that you are able to hold something in your mind in such a way that it actually allows you to come up with ideas about how you can help yourself. Now, the only way that can happen is if the fight or flight center in the brain is switched off. And that's the limbic system, the amygdala, if anyone is interested, the part of the brain that deals with all those emotions and threat. And it actually switches off other parts of your brain, like the prefrontal cortex, okay, which is actually designed to make executive functions and analyses of everything that's going on. It's not working when you're scared or when you think something is scary. It is just not on. So the trick is, how do you switch that off so that the creative part of yourself that wants to get you the result that can actually help you gets switched on? And there's a realization. The realization is that this is actually 20 of these. this is 20 of these. I've got to lose 20 kilos is, I've got to lose 1 kilo, 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 etc. That's it, I'm off carbs forever. One less teaspoon of sugar in my coffee, 2 less teaspoons of sugar in my coffee, you know. Okay, my God, there's more coffee than sugar in my coffee. Make sense? Yeah. Okay, and here's the other little secret. This is just 20 of these. That's all it is. If you get 20 little scratches like that, you'll survive. But you think it's going to be one big bite. It doesn't work like that. So the secret of success, when we go back to that third curve, the way you climb up that curve is those little red arrows are just stops along the way. Now, if you were to go from the bottommost point to the top in one single leap, you have no guarantee that when you land on that curve, you've got somewhere to hold on to, that you know what the footing is going to be like, that you can hold on, that you've got the strength to hold on. You don't know any of those things. But if you've gone step by step by step by step, you're building the road as you go. Does that make sense? So you've created what you need to hold on to get up to the next step. You've had practice about the footing. You know that when the gradient changes, what it's going to feel like under your feet. And you have a more realistic appreciation of what that change is about. And therefore, you can then get to the top, which is your new plateau, from which you can then repeat the curve and grow again. Unless you're perfect, and then that's the final thing you'll ever do. So, here are some suggestions. Just do 6 small things. 6 small things. Now, these could probably fill up an entire weekend, okay, of talks, but we don't have that time here. So I'll just give you the thoughts with a couple of examples for you to take away. Ask small questions. If you say, that's it, I'm going to get healthy and I'm losing 20 kilos in the next 6 months, that's like work. It creates fear. You're not switching off that part of your brain that's going to allow you to come up with creative ways to actually make that happen. So ask small questions. For example, like, how can I remind myself to drink more water? You know, and it might be that you've got an empty bottle of water. Someone actually has done this. There's an empty bottle of water just sitting in the car, which looks like rubbish. A lot of the car just, rocking around every time the car moves. Because all it is a visual. You say, oh, I haven't drunk any water today. But you know what? That may not work for all of you. This is the thing, right? If you actually switch off the thread, then what you'll come up with will be the thing that'll work for you. It won't be something that is in a textbook or that makes sense to anyone else. It might be something completely ridiculous. It might be for you. Your brain might say, every time you turn the air conditioning on in your car, you remember to have water. It doesn't make any sense. But to you, your brain came up with that. But it won't come up with that. And you won't get that change if you don't allow yourself the freedom to have that. So if I was absolutely certain that attending an exercise program would successfully remove all the unwanted fat from my body, what would I be doing differently every day? Just ask yourself that question. Here's the thing. If you keep asking your brain the same question every single day, in the absence of it feeling threatened, your brain goes to work on that. You can totally rely on it. Absolutely 100% rely on it. It goes to work, and then when you least expect it, in the shower, while driving to a meeting, whatever it is, you'll go, oh, I could do that. And that'll be your unique version of, oh, I can do that. Okay? It's not going to be, this works for 80% of people years ago. Give yourself the opportunity for your brain to show you how smart you are. Because no one knows you like you. Except when you're threatened, you're distracted by a lion or a tiger, then you're not paying attention to you. Whatever your lion or tiger is. Think small thoughts. What is the next step? Just what is the next thing? Not the next big thing. Just what is the next thing? Think small thoughts. If you think a big thought, you can't see it being done immediately. It concerns you, you become afraid, gets you out of your comfort zone. You can't think, you disable yourself from being able to actually achieve that. Complete small actions. How, and that's a very magical word, okay? How? Ask yourself, how can I do the smallest possible thing that will lead to the end result? What is the smallest thing? The smallest thing might be one less teaspoon of sugar. It may not be that you change your diet straight away. It may not be that you have, the vision of it all yet, but you've got control yet. Solve small problems. What are the small things that are standing in my way? If you're at work and you're thinking, I can't get the time off that I want to have lunch so that I can eat the things that I meant to eat, and on my schedule, and work's getting in the way. Well, what are the small things? What are the small things? It may be that there's something on your desk that could change that. You may be able to have something on your desk. Or it may be that the person next to you, you have a relationship with the person in the next, whatever, cubicle or whatever. I don't know, I've been in one of those places for years, but you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm trying to say, right? It could be anything. It could be anything. But if you solve a small problem, the bigger problem will get solved by default. The more small problems you solve. Does that make sense? Will that go into too much detail? So, notice small moments. Catch yourself doing something different. And congratulate yourself for that. Celebrate that. Don't say, when I lose 20 kilos, and when I'm eating perfectly, when I'm drinking the right amount of water, and when I'm training the way I'm meant to be training, and I'm doing my 10 minutes every day, then I'll congratulate myself as some sort of inner drill sergeant. It doesn't work like that, right? Notice the fact that you just thought about whether you should eat that muffin or not. You may still give in, but the difference is that this time you thought about it. You came to something like this, you read something, whatever, and it was enough for you to insert a little step. And you heard before about the slight edge and how little things add up to big things. Okay? That is something you should celebrate. And let it sit, and it'll grow into something bigger. The next time you might just give up one lump. The final thing is give yourself small rewards. Now I say small rewards because the mentality that most Western thought has, if you like, or corporation or things, people is, give people big rewards to incentivize them to do something. But here's my philosophy, okay? I think that the reward must never be more rewarding than achieving the goal. Otherwise, the reward becomes your goal. So if you're using a reward of some sort to motivate yourself, I'm going to, go to the movies with my friends if I don't, if I stay off, carbs for 2 days or something like that. Okay, you can keep it small. It might be, the reward might be, you know what, that's really great. Or something in your diary, just write it down and say, I achieved this today, and put a little happy face next to it. That is more powerful than creating elaborate, huge awards and rewards for yourself, where you almost forget the thing that you were doing it for, where you forget the goal. Okay? So, to complete, only 15% of the people get to the dip. As you've heard today, the only way you can negotiate that dip is in small steps that are very doable. The question is, will you do it?